Ethan was a boy born into hardship. His family lived in a small, crumbling house at the edge of their village. His father was a kind man who worked as a laborer, and his mother spent her days mending clothes for neighbors. Ethan had an older brother, Samuel, and a younger sister, Rose. Despite their struggles, the house was always filled with laughter, love, and dreams of a better future. But life is often unpredictable. One day, Ethan's father fell gravely ill. At first, they thought it was a simple fever, but as the days passed, his condition worsened. They had no money to see a doctor, and no medicine to ease his pain. Ethan's mother did everything she could, praying, tending to him, and using whatever herbs the neighbors suggested. One cold morning, his father took his final breath. The family gathered around him, their tears soaking his lifeless hands. "Take care of each other," were his last words. His passing left a heavy void in their home, and with it came a realization. They were now on their own. The weight of responsibility fell on Ethan and Samuel. "We'll protect this family," Samuel said, his voice firm but his eyes filled with fear. Together they worked odd jobs, cleaning, carrying loads, anything to bring home food. Ethan looked up to his brother, relying on his strength when he felt weak. But tragedy struck again. Samuel, overworked and exposed to harsh conditions, grew ill. This time, Ethan could see the fear in his mother's eyes. "Not again," she whispered. They tried everything they could, but without medicine or proper care, Samuel's health declined rapidly. One evening, Samuel called Ethan to his side. "You're stronger than you know, little brother," he said, his voice barely audible. "Promise me, you'll take care of them when I'm gone." Ethan nodded, tears streaming down his face, and whispered, "I promise." Samuel passed away that night, leaving Ethan, his mother, and little Rose in unbearable grief. The house that once echoed with laughter now felt empty and cold. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan watched his mother work herself to exhaustion, taking on every small job she could find. But even with her efforts, there were days they went without food. Ethan hated seeing Rose cry from hunger. He hated seeing his mother grow thinner and more tired. One evening, Ethan sat beside his mother. "I will work hard, Mama," he said, his voice filled with determination. "One day I'll make enough to take care of you and Rose. I'll make our dreams come true." His mother smiled weakly, placing her hand on his cheek. "Ethan, you have a good heart. Remember to study, work hard, and never give up. That's the only way to succeed." Those words became Ethan's guiding light. Though he was just a boy, he took on responsibilities far beyond his years. He found small jobs cleaning the streets, collecting firewood, and helping farmers. The work was hard, and his young body often ached, but he never stopped. At night, when everyone else slept, Ethan would light a small candle and study. He borrowed old books from the village and taught himself English, practicing words he found on crumpled newspapers. His hunger often gnawed at him, but his determination was stronger. Ethan's only solace was his childhood friend, Lily. She would visit him sometimes, bringing food and kind words. "You're going to achieve great things," she said one day, handing him a book she had saved for him. Ethan smiled, grateful for her belief in him. But Lily's family was wealthy, and they disapproved of her friendship with Ethan. One day, her parents told him bluntly, "You have nothing to offer her. Stay away." Their words crushed Ethan, and though Lily wept, she obeyed her parents. That night, Ethan cried too. But instead of letting the pain break him, he used it to fuel his resolve. Years passed, and Ethan's reputation as a hard-working, kind boy spread in the village. One day, while working at a factory, he caught the attention of Mr. Anderson, the wealthy factory owner. Mr. Anderson overheard Ethan speaking fluent English to a customer and was impressed. "Who taught you this?" he asked. I taught myself, Ethan replied. Mr. Anderson saw potential in Ethan and offered him a job as his personal assistant. It was the opportunity Ethan had been waiting for. He worked tirelessly, learning everything he could about business. Ethan's dedication didn't go unnoticed. Over time, Mr. Anderson promoted him, giving him more responsibilities. Ethan saved every penny he earned, always keeping his promise to his mother in mind. After years of hard work, Ethan used his savings to start a small business of his own. It was a risk, but he poured his heart into it, working day and night to make it succeed. Slowly, his efforts paid off. One day, Ethan returned home with a surprise for his mother and sister. Come with me, he said, leading them to a beautiful new house. This is our new home. His mother's eyes filled with tears. You've kept your promise, Ethan, she said, embracing him tightly. But Ethan's journey didn't end there. Remembering the struggles of his childhood, he started a foundation to help other poor children. He built schools, provided food and clothes, and gave scholarships to those in need. One day, Ethan was invited to speak at an event in his village. As he stood before the crowd, he shared his story. I was once a boy with nothing but dreams, he said. Life was cruel, but I held on to hope. Hard work and kindness can change everything. Never give up on your dreams. In the audience, Ethan's mother and Rose sat with pride shining in their eyes. Nearby, Lily watched too, tears streaming down her face as she saw the boy she once knew become a man who inspired so many. Ethan later approached Lily, offering a kind smile. I'm glad to see you, he said. They talked for hours, rebuilding their friendship. Though life had taken them on different paths, they found peace in each other's success and growth. Ethan continued to grow his business and help others. His life became a testament to the power of resilience and love. Whenever he faced challenges, he remembered his mother's words. Study hard, work hard, and never give up. Years later, as Ethan stood in his office overlooking the city, he thought of his father, Samuel, and all the struggles that had shaped him. He knew his success wasn't just for himself. It was for them, for his mother, and for every child who dared to dream. Ethan's story became a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, there is light. His mother's smile, Rose's laughter, and the lives he touched were his greatest rewards. And so, Ethan's legacy lived on, a legacy built not on wealth, but on the strength of an unbroken spirit.